Hey Uncle Alex, I'm going to show you how I set up my Weber kettle for indirect cooking. So I'm going to try to help you out here, so in case you have any questions. Number one, make sure there's no ash. You can zoom in. There's no ash inside your grate. So if you've got an ash catcher grate, you're going to want to go ahead and get all that out. You're going to want to have it open here, open vent here. So the lower intake, okay, and the top intake. So, oops. The intake's going to be wide open, and then your lower grate, you're going to want wide open the dampener, okay? Number two, you're going to want to put all the coals that you're going to use on one half. This is my slow and sear. You don't have this, so I'm going to take this out. And we're going to get all the coals onto about half. You're going to do indirect grilling, so one half of these are going to be coals. This is how I would start them. You would take about 4 pieces of coal and lay them in the corner. And you would light it. Come back to me. You're going to light it either with a fire starter, whatever you have, but I'd use a fire starter or a briquette, but a fire starter that we use. And you're going to let those go for about 10 minutes, 15, till they turn ashy. Not Ashlyn. In your chimney, you fill up your charcoal. So I'm going to pretend to fill all this up. I'm not going to. Well, maybe I can just to show them. You're going to leave these, and you would dump them. Back up. You can just zoom in and out. You're going to dump them. Come on over. Over your hot coals. Remember, those would be our hot coals. Okay, and you're going to spread them out, and you're going to cover up here. Make sure they're spread at about half the grate, just like this. Okay, you're going to put your grill grate on. If you have hinges like I do, you're going to put the hinges here. You're also going to want a temperature control. I went to the store and bought one. Come on over, Ash. Put a piece of tin foil. You're going to cover it. Stick it through, and you're going to put it on your grill like this, about 2 inches away from the side and away from the hot coals. You can go back here, but if you're going to put your rack of ribs here, this one's a longer one here, so you can just, with your ball foil, it's going to sit just like this. You'll close your lid, dampener away from your coals. And you're going to let this go for about 15 minutes. When you get your internal temperature to about 150 degrees, you're going to close your bottom vent, and you're going to make sure it's about a quarter or about a half open, halfway open, and you're going to close your top dampener about halfway closed. Okay, so the temperature, when it gets to 150 internally, you want to slow it down to target 225. So at 150, you're going to close this and close this down to a half, and down to about a half up here, roughly. Okay, and you're going to let that go about 15 minutes, and you're going to watch it. If it keeps climbing, close this a little more. You can come back up and close the bottom one a little bit more, and then wait 15 minutes. But the point is, don't get too impatient, throw stuff on or change stuff too quick. Every time you make a change top or bottom, you got to wait about 15 minutes. When it gets into between 225 and 250, so don't get too crazy, right? It doesn't have to be 225 exactly. When it gets to about 225, 250, put those ribs on, let them go, okay? And so that's how I would set up my grill. The only other thing I would tell you, if you want to keep them moist, is underneath here on the bottom grate, we'd have this off, is put a hot water in a tin foil pan, like a Reynolds foil pan. Okay. Anyway, I hope that helps. Love you.
And I am the camera person.
Go ahead.